Welcome back to another episode of Mimo on Cloudfetti. Today's topic is going to be men that live second lives. Let me say that again. Men that live second lives. Some live second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth lives. They got time on their hands. But this is a topic that we have to address because he's uncomfortable because he feel like he's trading the guy, being a traitor to the men. But you know, we have to discuss this not only because it's happening very often, but because one of our followers called us actually to have a discussion. We were on the phone with her for like a whole hour discussing something that happened to her with a guy who was like living a double life. So we decided to address it and make this video. So let's get into it. What's the first thing we should tackle with this?
Let's get into the woman that called us.
Okay.
And then we can elaborate on that after.
All right.
Okay, so she reached out to you via DM, Instagram, and said, I have something that I experienced recently that I feel would be relevant for your channel. You know, I like what you guys do, and this is important so other women wouldn't have to go through with this. So
Yes.
it was like right away interested, like I wonder what it could be. Let's call her right away. So we called her that evening, and she definitely threw me for a loop because, of course, unfortunately, men do lead second lives. You know, side women. You know, you find out the guy got a girlfriend and he didn't tell the truth about this. So, yeah, exactly. So yeah, we hear it. It's no big deal. But the type of second life this guy was living was crazy, where it had all of us jaws to the ground. Okay, so she mentioned that it was this guy that was reaching out to her on Facebook consistently. I guess he liked what he saw, and every day he would say, message her, you know, good morning, beautiful, have a great day. You know, there's some guys that are very consistent with that, so they can keep the woman's attention. So he kept saying that, and eventually they exchanged numbers. I think he lived Delaware, and I think she was in Maryland, so
Something like that.
it wasn't that far for them to have a relationship. It's not like really like long distance like that. So they meet up, you know, she's starting to like him, and over time she finds out that he's someone that preys on fake women. She called him BBW, and he was accused of molesting a teenager or having sex with a minor.
All types of stuff she found on him.
Yeah, this is what he do. He just go around doing it, a womanizer, so to speak, and taking advantage of women, lying to them, and then when they're deep into the relationship, they end up finding more disturbing things. What else did she mention?
I think, didn't she say he had like an ankle bracelet or something like that?
Yeah, and she would question him on it, and he said, don't worry about it.
The first time she went down there to meet him, mind you, prior to meeting up in person, he, was selling himself to be like this amazing business person with money and all this stuff. And she said that she took the bus there, and when he picked her up, or I don't know if he picked her up or his friend picked her up, but she said when she pulled up to his place, it was a trailer. And she was just like, that was like red flag number one. And it was just weird because it's like, it's not funny, but it's just like, how many black people live in a trailer? You usually see that like in the deep south, or in certain places. I don't know that I would expect that to happen. Like if somebody lived in Long Island and they live in a trailer, like I don't know that I see that too often. Only in like movies and stuff like that. So that was like weird to her. Like he lives in a trailer. So that, then I think she said that the ankle bracelet, like it just kept unfolding and unfolding.
She was trying very hard not to be judgmental because she actually did like him. There seemed to be something there as far as the conversations. They were getting to know each other better. He was consistent. So she liked the way things were going, especially to take enough to take a bus over to Delaware and meet this guy, you know, which could be dangerous. You don't know who you're meeting with these online type of situations. You don't know if the person is going to actually look like who they say they are. So those are the two number one things, especially for a woman. But to find out all this stuff, it really to me sounded like a Lifetime movie.
It did. He
had sex with a minor, and then it just kept getting deeper.
Yeah, but that, like, those were things she discovered, I guess, after spending time with him. Because something they said, I think she said, like, when you, like, a child predator, or you did something like that, like, in that state, they have to put it in front of your house or your yard or something. I don't know. It was something to that effect. So it's like that, like, she just kept discovering all these things. And then I think she found out he was married, or he was still married, or he had another relationship, and the girl and her was speaking, and she was filling her in all of this stuff, and how, like, this is a pattern of his, and how many women were involved in the situation. Like, it wasn't just her. Like, it was maybe like 4 or 3 women that he was stringing along that she knew of.
Apparently he has like a certain type.
Yeah.
So.
And also she said that she was like in an accident or something at some time back, and she was due for a settlement. And, you know, she confided in him, I guess, when they were talking, because, you know, she's like in a relationship with this guy, and she's opening up. And she said that he would, like, keep asking, like, well, when is it going to happen? When is it coming?
Close.
Yeah, like, playing her close, because it's like he had a motive or whatever. I'm sure he had kids, but, you know, we spoke to her, like, a couple weeks ago, but it was a lot. So what we're going to talk about is, like, the red flags. And yes, you don't want to go into relationships being judgmental, because everybody's different, and not because somebody has a past mean that they're going to be the same in the future. But there's certain things that you'll see that you should know is a red flag, and you should run. And it's just not a good situation to be in. So, red flag number 1 for a person that's living a second life, a man, because I dated somebody like that. The consistency is always off. Like, in their mind, they probably think they're being very consistent with the communication, but there'll be gaps within the communication at weird times, and it's like, say I text you today at 5 p.m. and then I don't hear from you tomorrow until 10 a.m. You know, and it's like, oh, I was just sleeping, I was so tired. It's like, you know, like, you just walked in the door and fell in the bed and then wake up till the morning. So the not being able to get access to them, that's like a red flag number 1. Like, if I can't just pick up the phone and call you, and I'm not saying every time, but if 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 I call you and it goes to voicemail, or it just keeps ringing and it's like I can't call you, or then when you do reach out, you texting me back that I'll hit you up later, you know, all of those things are like, it's a little off. Well, what do you think about that?
When I used to date multiple women at one time, I would have, yes, it's hard to believe, yes.
I did not know this.
I would say, hey, you know, we can't talk later because I gotta, like, study or something. I don't know what it was. Or, you know, I'm just not that much of a phone person, so I'll check in with you here and there, but, you know, we don't have to talk every night. Like, it's annoying to me anyway, but I was doing it specifically in case she would call me while I was out on a date, or text at a weird time, you know. But definitely that's number 1.
The communication, it's just not consistent. Like, they fall off the face of the earth for maybe a few days sometimes, or hours straight on, where you can't just reach them, and then they'll just hit you up randomly like nothing ever happened. Like, you know, that inconsistent communication is sign number 1. Sign number 2, they don't really bring you around friends or family. They kind of play, you know, they keep it to just you and them. They kind of, you'll hear about them going to, like, oh, my friend is having a party, I'm going, but you never extended the invitation. You know, you'll hear about they have this thing that they do where they go play basketball, they go into this game, they go into this aunt's cookout, but you're never extended the invite. That's a red flag. If you're dating somebody, right, and you're dating them for months, you're getting to know each other, they should want, at some point in time, to introduce you to at least their friends, you know?
Or feel comfortable enough with you where you're in the environment. You know, I don't know if guys think about, okay, I'm ready, she can meet my homeboys, this is excellent, no. But an offer will be extended, like, hey, you know, me and the family's hanging out, why don't you come by?
Yeah.
Like, that's more practical.
Or I'm going to happy hour with a few friends. You want to meet us there? So at some point in time, nobody's saying right off the bat, but some point in time, you'll get an extended invite somewhere. If you're dating a person for months to a year and you've never met their friends and their family, it's a red flag, because it's like, well, who are they bringing around the friend? Who does the family and friends know that they don't feel comfortable to introduce you to? You know, because it's like, remember, they're leading 2 lives, so they obviously probably expose their family and friends to somebody else. So you can't come into the picture and get introduced to. So all of that keeping you away from the friends and the family, the inconsistent communication.
Because, you know, they're worried about one of their friends, family members slipping up.
Exactly, giving away
the other person's name, or just telling you stuff that he don't want you to know. So, you know, that's risky.
That is risky.
You want to minimize the risk. So that's one. I think another one is, it's controversial, but in normal circumstances, not exchanging gifts. And what I mean by that is...
That's a good one. That's a good one. Wow.
Not being careful of sending the wrong signal. If we exchange gifts and I get you jewelry that says something that I really like you, and I may not want it to go that far, so you're gonna get a Christmas card, and then
some people don't even get a card.
I'm joking about the Christmas card, but you know, something like that. Versus jewelry. What else?
Yeah, you won't be getting gifts. Because like you said, if anything gets tracked back, they'll be like, I don't know where she got that from. Me and her were just cool. We were friends. I never bought her anything. I never took her anywhere. You know, that's their alibi. So pay attention to these things.
There's another good one that we talk about all the time.
What?
No pictures of y'all on the gram.
I'm
giving it away, but hey, I'm sorry. Y'all gotta think too. You know?
Not just on the gram, on Facebook.
That too.
On any social media.
You might have met the person on Instagram or Facebook, right? So they got a profile. But say you're snapping something and you're about to post it, and he like stops you from doing that.
Or how about he don't want to get in the picture?
Yeah.
How about that?
I don't do social media and all that.
Listen,
gray areas, you know?
Don't believe the hype. Because most of the guys who say they don't believe in social media have social media. And they posted everything but you. That's a red flag. Now, I know some people, they'll post their children, their nephew, their mother, their grandmother. They shout out everybody in their family. They go to their friend's baby shower, whatever, you know? Everything is posted. But then when it comes to you, it's like, I don't want people in my business. But they gotta know your family and your nephew and your red flag. Ladies, don't be naive. Don't believe that crap, okay? Now, if you go on his page and it's like no pictures of him, and he has memes and pictures of flowers in the park, then yeah, maybe he don't really...
Ghost account.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's not a social media person. That's different. But if the dude is constantly posting everything under the sun but you, he living a secret life. Something he hiding. So, what else? There's so many things. There's so many signs. If when you just talk about commitment and where is this going, he gets super defensive.
Try to change the subject.
Try to change the subject, or it's like, oh, I don't believe in titles. Oh, I don't believe in title. Red flag. Any man that says that, he got a title with somebody else. That's BS. What do you think about that title thing?
Yeah, again, that goes back to
they say that
sending the wrong signal.
But why do they say that? I don't believe in titles. That's a red flag, right?
Because if it's a title, then again, he feels like expectations, some obligation. I've always just tried to keep it neutral. That way it wasn't anything that I was expecting. So whatever they would expect would be in their head. I wouldn't say, hey,
you're just cool.
You're my girlfriend now. So that means Valentine's Day and I gotta take you out and stuff like that. And if I don't want to do that, why sign up to that? Like, then there's nothing she can ask you for if you don't. So I mean, those things is all related, but you got having a girlfriend or a wife, that's typical. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm not really bugging about that. Why I felt we needed to do this topic is because, again, having sex with a minor, when it gets deep like that with the second life, or God forbid, doing both sexes, and then you find out. I used to hear about that a lot back in the day. I don't know about now. But again, that's when, to me, it goes too far.
Yeah.
That's when it's real scary and the signs are important. So that's why I felt we had to do it, to make sure that women were aware. Because, again, one of our subscribers, this was a serious situation, no jokes.
It's not a laughing matter. It's something that I think is still affecting her. I mean, and it throws you for a loop because you really invest in these people, you believe in them, you develop feelings, and then all these things unfold, and it's like you feel like somebody done snatch your wig off, like you was living a lie, or is this a dream? Like, did this really happen to me? So it's rough. I've been there, like you feel like you're so close and you have a connection with a person, and then in the same breath, they show you something and you're like, damn, do I even know who you are? Because you discover all these things about them. So to prevent that, guys, you just have to pay attention, and a lot of people, they go in denial because they want so badly to be loved and they want so badly to have a relationship that they oversee the obvious signs. Because some things are just very clear. Like when you look back and you tell the story to other people, you be like, that wasn't a red flag.
I'm sorry, I gotta air it out.
What?
But again, this is important. The guy lied about having a baby.
Who are you talking about?
The situation that you were talking about.
Oh my God,
I'm sorry, but again, this is big stuff. How do you hide a kid?
He don't deserve airtime. Just.
How do you hide a kid? This goes too far, okay?
Oh,
don't hate the player, hate the game. That's a different game you playing. That's not Scrabble. That's not chess. That's some other stuff. But that's all I wanted to say again. Don't do that.
Yes, since my husband wants to air it out.
You're not gonna get that part.
Before I met my husband, I was dating someone for 3 years, and all the signs was there. That was a little off and weird, but I ignored. And he had a hidden child, and I swear, I felt like the wind was knocked out of me, because it's like, how the hell do you hide that? Like, did you think the child, how long were you gonna hide that until they were a grown woman and married?
How do you get away with that?
I don't know. Anyway, thank God I have sense and I walked out of that situation. But I have been there, so I understand, ladies. It's rough, but you gotta pay attention. And you know what? I thank God that I didn't have a kid or anything with this person, because look what I discovered. You know what I'm saying? My child would have had a sibling that I did not even know about. So you gotta pay attention, and sometimes thank God that He shows you these signs, and you're saved. And that's where you have to learn the lesson, because some people, they don't take all the signs in. They wait till they get caught up where the money is lost, or they spending money, or they're broke, and they all, you know, they lead into so many. They have children for these people, and then you find out all these things. So thank God, she should be grateful she didn't have a kid with him, or you know, she didn't bring him around her family, since you know he said that whole thing with the known for molesting a kid or whatever the case was, you know, and you expose that person, you bring them to your home, and you have children, you know, all of those things. So you should, at the same time, it's bad. Thank God it could have been worse, and you saw the signs, and now you know better for the next time. So yeah, you don't want to judge a book by its cover and hold everybody to the same thing, but you got to pay attention.
After a while, when you add it up, unfortunately, it's too much.
Yeah. You
got to make a decision and not deal with the person. When you put everything together and it just keep getting worse and worse, and it's like, you know, it's too much to deal with. If it's one isolated issue, but if it's multiple, then again, that's a sign where, you know, what are you really holding on to here?
Yeah. But when you really think of your situations that you're in, the flags are there. The signs are there. You just may want to overlook it. But I don't feel like anything goes over your head, or it's like, I didn't notice that. I would have never thought. You know, when you look back, you see some things that were like, yeah, that never seemed right.
It's tunnel vision. You're going by what's going good, and you're focusing on that, and everything else is like blurry.
Also, you want an end result. You know, most people want that commitment. They want marriage.
Through, yeah.
So they overlook these things. But when you really open your eyes and you see, like, okay, like they said, people will show you who they are, and believe them, because they'll put it out there. You just have to pay attention. So we tried our best to wrap this up, but those are some of the signs that are red flags. Comment below if you had a crazy experience, if you've ever experienced,
like I said, man, it's
somebody with a second life.
Wild. It's no more just basic cheating.
No, I know.
I'm not even talking about that. Again, it's what these people are hiding, and it's getting crazy where it's like serial killer type stuff, man. Like,
yeah, it's really scary. So, you know, you could lose your life over it if you don't pay attention. So that's the extreme bad of it. But comment below if you ever experienced this, or you know somebody going through this. Tell them about this video, but it's not a laughing matter. It's very serious. So comment below, let us know what you think, and also comment what other topics you want us to address. Maybe it's something you're going through in a relationship and you want some advice, and we are here for you. Trust me, we have history of our own things. So thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.